Okay, neighbors, pull up a chair and pour yourself something strong, because we need to talk about the latest disaster that has just landed on the newsstand. And let me tell you, the only thing bizarre about Harper's Bazaar right now is the delusion on the front cover. You know, for a woman who claims she wants privacy, who claims she wants to just be a mom and a philanthropist, Meghan Markle sure does love the sound of a camera shutter, doesn't she? But this time, honey, the camera didn't love her back. We are looking at the supposed reinvention of the Duchess of Sussex, the great comeback that was supposed to shut us all up, and instead, it has landed with a thud so loud you can hear it all the way from Montecito to Buckingham Palace. It is the definition of a flop, and frankly, it is embarrassing to watch. Now, I know you guys are excited for more, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, we have to start with the obvious. This isn't Vogue. Oh, you know, that eats her up inside. Meghan has been chasing that Anna Wintour validation for years, desperate to be the fashion icon, the global cover girl of the most prestigious magazine in the world. But Vogue is reserved for the real deals, for the Kates of the world who exude class without having to say a word. So she settled. She settled for Harper's Bazaar, or as I like to call it this month, Harper's Bazaar, because the narrative they are trying to spin is straight up fiction. She walked into that shoot thinking she was giving us Earth Mother, peaceful warrior, natural beauty. But baby, look at the photos. Really look at them. The lighting is expensive, the clothes are thousands of dollars, the photographers are top tier, and yet the energy is heavy. It's dark, it's draining. She wanted to look natural, stripping back the makeup, trying to emulate that Pamela Anderson moment of raw honesty. But when Pamela did it, it was liberating because Pamela is honest. When Meghan does it, it looks calculated. It looks like a costume. Today, I will play the role of the humble woman, but you can see the tension in the jaw. You can see the emptiness in the eyes. It doesn't look like peace, darling. It looks like exhaustion. It looks like the face of a woman who is tired of keeping up her own lies. And no amount of airbrushing can fix a spirit that is constantly at war with the truth. You compare that to our Catherine, the Princess of Wales. When Catherine smiles, even in a blurry iPhone photo, it lights up the room because it's genuine. It's duty, it's love, it's authentic grace. Meghan's photos, they look like a jewelry commercial for a brand that's about to go bankrupt. And then we have to talk about the interview itself, because if you thought the photos were bleak, the text is a whole other level of delusion. It is the same old song and dance. We are years into this freedom tour, years away from the so-called toxic royal family, and yet does she have a single new story to tell? No. It is the same recycled sound bites. It is the same word salad about boundaries and healing and protecting her peace. Honey, if you have to talk about protecting your peace every 3 months in a global magazine, you don't have peace. You have a PR strategy. People who are actually at peace are too busy living their lives to give interviews about it. They are busy doing the work, like William and Catherine, who let their actions speak while Meghan hires a journalist to write poetry about her calmness. But the absolute kicker, the detail that made my jaw drop and proved that she is the ultimate evil mastermind of her own ego, was the introduction. Picture the scene. She's in a private brownstone, a quiet, intimate setting for this interview. There are maybe 2 or 3 people in the room. No crowds, no fanfare, no red carpet, and yet, how is she introduced? Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. In a private room. In America, a country that fought a whole war so we wouldn't have to bow to titles. Who does that? Who insists on being announced by a British royal title in a casual meeting? I'll tell you who. Someone who knows that without that title, she is just a Z-list actress with a failed podcast. It is pathetic, truly. It shows you that for all her talk about the monarchy being stifling and racist and outdated, she clings to that connection like a lifeline. She left the cage, but she kept the keys because she likes the way they jingle. She wants the prestige of the institution she tried to burn down, and that is why the public is done. That is why the reaction to this cover wasn't outrage, it was silence. It was a collective eye roll. We are suffering from Meghan fatigue. We are tired of the hypocrisy. You cannot trash the family and then demand to be addressed by the title they gave you. You cannot preach about the environment and fly private. You cannot talk about feminism and then treat your husband like a handbag. And speaking of Harry, oh, the brainwashed puppet made his appearance in the narrative, didn't he? But notice how she talks about him. It is chilling. She doesn't talk about him as an equal. She doesn't talk about his accomplishments or his humor or his heart. She talks about him as a shield. She says, "No one sees what I see," and describes how he protects her, how he absorbs the blows, how he checks the media so she doesn't have to. That isn't a marriage. That is a security detail. It sounds like she views him as a utility, something to be used to further her own comfort. He loves me more than anyone in the world. Me, me, me. It is always about how much he loves her, never about how much she loves him. It paints a picture of a man who is emotionally drained, constantly on patrol, fighting ghosts to keep his wife happy, while she sits there in her beige clothes talking about joy. It's a downgrade, plain and simple. Think about where she was. She was in palaces. She was standing on balconies with the Queen. She had the platform to change the world with the wave of a hand. And she traded it all for this? For a magazine cover that nobody cares about? For a lifestyle brand that sells nothing? For a life where she has to announce her own title in a brownstone because nobody else is doing it for her? It is the biggest fumble in history. And deep down, I think she knows it. I think that is what we are seeing in those eyes on the cover. We are seeing the realization that the grass wasn't greener, it was just astroturf, and now it's starting to peel. The contrast with the working royals has never been starker. While Meghan is doing this performance art of authenticity, King Charles is dealing with cancer with stoicism. Queen Camilla is stepping up. William is launching global initiatives to help the homeless and the planet. They are dealing with real life, with real duty. They don't have time to sit for Harper's Bazaar and talk about their feelings because they are too busy serving the people. And that is why they are beloved. That is why, when Catherine eventually returns to full public view, the world will stop. Because she is real. She is substance. Meghan is just noise. And the silence from the public regarding this cover is the deadliest weapon of all. Hate is one thing. Hate means people are paying attention. But indifference? Indifference is the end of a celebrity. The influencers aren't reposting this. The fashion editors aren't gushing. The buzz is non-existent. It's just beige. It's vanilla. It's boring. And for a narcissist who feeds on attention, being boring is a fate worse than death. Her team must be panicking behind the scenes. They threw everything at this: the natural look, the heavy-hitting interview, the prestigious, well, semi-prestigious magazine, and it landed like a wet balloon. It proves that you cannot force a comeback when the audience has walked out of the theater. She talks about transformation in the interview, about how she has changed. But neighbor, she hasn't changed. She is doing the exact same thing she did 5 years ago. Playing the victim, leveraging the title, and hoping we are all too stupid to notice the contradiction. She is trapped in a loop of her own making. She wants to be the queen of Hollywood, but Hollywood requires talent and grit. She wants to be a royal, but royalty requires silence and service. She has neither. So she sits in the middle, in this weird, uncanny valley of celebrity, being a duchess who sells jam and complains about her in-laws. It makes you wonder what is next. If Harper's Bazaar can't save the brand, what can? A return to Instagram? A reality show? Every step down the ladder strips away a little more of the mystique. She is becoming just another reality star, just another Real Housewife of Montecito, fighting for relevance in a crowded room. And Harry is just dragging along behind her, the royal accessory that gives her the only currency she has left. It is tragic for him, truly. To go from being a war hero and the most popular royal to being the +1 in his wife's vanity project. But for us, for those of us who see through the grift, it is vindication. We said this would happen. We said the shine would wear off. We said that without the structure of the royal family, they would struggle to find a purpose. And here we are, a glossy cover with a hollow center, a title with no territory, a duchess with no class. So don't let the glossy photos fool you. Don't let the poetic language about chapters and seasons distract you. This isn't a new chapter. It's a rerun. It's the same old show, just on a different channel with lower ratings. Meghan Markle is trying to sell us a version of herself that doesn't exist, and the world isn't buying it. We are saving our coin for Highgrove honey and our attention for the people who actually deserve it. I want to know what you think, neighbor. Did you see the cover? Did she look natural to you? Or did she look like she was trying too hard? And what do you make of her insisting on using the Duchess title in a private room? Is it desperation or just pure ego? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because you know I read every single one of them. We are the only ones telling the truth about this bizarre situation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so we can keep exposing the reality behind the PR machine. Until next time, keep your head high and your standards higher. Ta-ta and bye for now.